These are the world's most dangerous borders, where crossing a line could cost you your life. Forget friendly border crossings. We're taking you to the front lines, minefields, military standoffs, and places where one wrong step is fatal. For millions, these borders mean daily fear and survival. We'll show you what it's really like to live on the edge of conflict, from the Korean DMZ to cartel-controlled deserts. We're walking right up to these zones, talking to locals and revealing the shocking truth behind the world's most dangerous borders. This journey into the heart of human conflict starts now. Our journey begins at one of the most dangerous and mysterious places on the planet, the border between North and South Korea, known worldwide as the infamous Demilitarized Zone, or DMZ. This narrow strip of land stretches for 250 kilometers, slicing the Korean peninsula in half, and is shrouded in tension, secrecy, and fear. The DMZ is the most heavily fortified border on Earth. It's lined with barbed wire, dotted with watchtowers, and packed with thousands of landmines. Soldiers from both sides patrol day and night, always on high alert, ready to respond to the slightest provocation. Every movement is watched, every sound analyzed. Here, just a few feet of empty space separate two armies locked in a decades-long standoff. North and South Korean troops stand face-to-face, staring each other down 24/7, their nerves stretched to the breaking point. The tension is so thick you can almost feel it in the air. One wrong step and you're in enemy territory. For defectors desperate to escape, crossing the DMZ means risking everything, dodging deadly minefields, evading heavily armed patrols, and braving the unknown. Many never make it. The stories of those who try are filled with heartbreak, courage, and tragedy, but the battle here isn't just physical. Propaganda blares from loudspeakers on both sides, echoing across the empty fields. North Korea's fake villages, built to impress and intimidate, stand eerily deserted, a strange form of psychological warfare meant to unsettle the enemy and the world. The DMZ isn't just a political boundary, it's a scar that runs through the heart of the Korean people. Families have been torn apart for generations, unable to see or even speak to loved ones on the other side. The pain of separation is written on every face that gazes across the fence. Standing here, you can't help but feel the heavy weight of history and conflict. The silence is haunting, broken only by the distant sounds of guards and the wind rustling through the barbed wire. This is a place where the past and present collide, and where peace remains just out of reach. Next, we're at the border between India and Pakistan, a 2,000-mile fuse between two nuclear powers. This is one of the most heavily militarized borders on Earth, a place where history, politics, and geography collide. The border stretches from the deserts of Rajasthan to the icy peaks of the Himalayas, cutting through villages, rivers, and fields, dividing families and communities. It's a line drawn in the aftermath of partition, but its consequences are felt every day. In Kashmir, the line of control is a battlefield. Soldiers face off in treacherous mountains, and civilians live under constant threat of shelling. The landscape is breathtaking, but the tension is palpable. Every day the possibility of conflict looms, and the silence of the valleys is often shattered by gunfire and explosions. Families build bunkers beside their homes, children grow up to the sound of explosions. For many, fear is a part of daily life. School lessons are interrupted by air raid sirens, and games are played in the shadow of conflict. Generations have grown up knowing nothing but uncertainty and the ever-present threat of violence. The daily border ceremony is a show of aggression, but the real danger is the ever-present risk of war. The spectacle draws crowds, but beneath the pageantry lies a deep-seated rivalry. Each stomp and salute is a reminder of the unresolved tensions that simmer just below the surface. With both sides armed with nuclear weapons, a single spark here could trigger global catastrophe. The world watches anxiously, knowing that any escalation could have consequences far beyond South Asia. The nuclear shadow hangs over every decision, every skirmish, every diplomatic exchange. The military presence is overwhelming, and infiltration by armed groups keeps tensions high. Patrols are constant, and suspicion is everywhere. Intelligence agencies on both sides work around the clock, trying to prevent the next crisis before it erupts. Here, the border is a front line, where peace is fragile and war is always a heartbeat away. The world holds its breath, hoping that diplomacy and restraint will prevail over hostility and fear. Now, the US-Mexico border, a nearly 2,000-mile line where cartels, not governments, often rule. In the Arizona desert, lawlessness is everywhere. Drug smuggling, human trafficking, and violence are daily realities. Local ranchers live in fear, finding bodies and facing threats on their own land. Migrants risk death from heat, dehydration, and cartel violence, leaving behind haunting traces in the sand. The border is a patchwork. Massive walls in some places, open gaps in others, exploited by cartels with tunnels and drones. Volunteers try to save lives, but the crisis is overwhelming. Here, the line between right and wrong blurs into a desperate fight for survival. We're at the Israeli-Palestinian border, a landscape of concrete walls, fences, and constant surveillance. The barrier divides cities, families, and lives, fueling daily tension and resentment. For Israelis, it's security. For Palestinians, it's a wall of separation and lost freedom. Checkpoints mean hours of waiting and intense scrutiny, while clashes and protests erupt along the barrier. Civilians on both sides live with the threat of rockets, raids, and sudden violence. We met families whose homes and livelihoods are split by the wall, forced to navigate permits and military rules. This border is a physical symbol of a conflict with no easy end, where every inch is contested and peace feels distant. Today, the Russia-Ukraine border stands as a grim symbol of conflict, transformed into a deadly war zone since 2022, and now one of the most dangerous frontiers in the world. What was once a line on a map has become a landscape of devastation, fear, and uncertainty, where the echoes of artillery fire never seem to fade. Trenches snake across the countryside, minefields and artillery craters stretch for miles in every direction. The ground is scarred and broken, a constant reminder that danger is everywhere, lurking beneath the soil, in the air, and around every corner. Both soldiers and civilians live with the ever-present threat of sudden violence. Demining teams work tirelessly, risking their lives every day to clear explosives left behind. For them, every step could be their last. Experts estimate it could take decades, perhaps even a generation, to make this land safe again, and until then, every field and forest remains a potential trap. Once thriving villages now stand as shattered ruins, their streets empty except for those who refuse to leave. These places are haunted by memories and by the few remaining residents who endure constant shelling, drone attacks, and the loss of everything they once knew. We met an elderly woman, her home battered by war, surviving on humanitarian aid. Despite the destruction, she refuses to abandon the place where she's lived her entire life, clinging to hope and memories even as the world around her crumbles. Here, the line between soldier and civilian has all but vanished. Everyone, young and old, men and women, is at risk. People wear military gear for protection, and every day is a struggle to simply stay alive. Drones now fill the sky, turning it into a new kind of battlefield. With each passing day, survival becomes more uncertain, and every moment is a fight to endure the relentless violence from above. This border is an open wound, a stark, painful reminder of how quickly peace can shatter, and how long it takes to heal. The scars here may last for generations, shaping the lives of all who live in the shadow of this modern-day Iron Curtain. The border between Sudan and South Sudan, born from civil war, now a flashpoint for violence and a massive refugee crisis. Poorly defined, it's a battleground for militias fighting over oil, water, and land. Villages lie in ruins, and tens of thousands flee to overcrowded camps, telling stories of terror and survival. Crossing means risking robbery, kidnapping, or death at the hands of armed groups. We met a mother who hid by day and walked by night, drinking from puddles to keep her children alive. The Abyei region remains fiercely contested, with peacekeepers struggling to keep order. For millions, this border is a daily gamble with life and death. Our final stop, the Colombia-Venezuela border, a lawless frontier and lifeline for millions fleeing Venezuela's collapse. Official crossings are closed, so smugglers and armed groups control hundreds of illegal trails. Refugees pay gangs to cross, risking extortion, violence, and even death. We met migrants who gave up everything for a chance at survival, only to face new dangers on the other side. Over 7 million Venezuelans have fled, many through this chaotic border. Colombia struggles to cope, while criminal groups profit from the crisis. Here, survival depends on navigating a world run by violent criminals. From the DMZ to the lawless Colombian-Venezuelan border, these lines shape worlds of danger and desperation. The people we met, families, soldiers, aid workers, bear the true cost of these divisions. Each border tells a story of conflict, suffering, and resilience. Seeing it firsthand changes your perspective on peace and security. Would you dare to cross any of these borders? Let us know in the comments, and subscribe for more unbelievable stories from around the world. Thanks for watching.